The CEO, Ronald Hickley from Creative Difference, will talk to you a little bit about the DV8 Verge hybrid today. Has the HK22 Insider Max Flip cover stock, finished with Crown Factory compound. The RG is 2.476. The differential is 0.049, and the intermediate differential is essentially 0, which means it's a symmetric bowling ball. So let's go ahead and take a look at this piece from DV8. First shots. Symmetrical ball. So that ball struck, but if you watch, it actually went over the 8 pin. It's not the motion that you want. You want to split that 8-9 or go more toward the 9 pin, one of the two. What that tells me is I'm probably just a little bit in the wrong part of the lane. Bowling on typical house shot, my layouts for my test balls are 60 by 4.5 by 30. See, that's a little better. Nah, flat 7, man. Flatty 7. So if you're watching the ball motion, right, the ball that's going over the 8 pin as it goes through the pins is going to do that. That's the warning sign that you're close to flat corner pinning. In my case, it's 7. So you may go, well, what do you do in that case? Well, there's a couple of different things you can do. On a house shot, I can make a one board move and fix it. And we'll try to demonstrate that here really fast. It wasn't one. I mean, I did move one, but that ball hit the friction a little bit earlier too. So we'll look through the face. But the ball motion was better. Like the shape was better. So once I hit what I want to hit here, that'll be great. That's one move. Another option, you can just change your hand position a little bit, right? Like get in a hand position that gets that ball to have a little more axis rotation, and that will create more continuation, and the more continuation will solve that issue too. I want to keep getting it left to the friction now. That's a subconscious thing to do to make sure it comes back. But as you can see, that's not necessarily desirable because now I'm going through the face. If you were bowling on a flatter pattern, you wouldn't want to increase that axis rotation. You definitely would want to take the option of either ball changing to something with a little more surface and then making a move on the lane, or you could slow it down a little bit too. Both those things would help get the ball to continue through the pins a little better. There's definitely room for error though. You can see that, which is good. People often ask, like, when should you use a symmetrical ball versus an asymmetrical ball? What asymmetry does, asymmetry helps to promote mid-lane hook. It helps the ball to start up earlier. So on a typical house pattern, if you're bowling on the fresh, you may want to start with an asymmetrical ball and then go down to a symmetrical ball as the lanes change, depending on your style, right? So like me, I'm kind of an average rev rate, a little higher ball speed. So I can use those asymmetrical balls, but once I begin to move right, they'll begin to be a little too early and I won't strike. So then I would switch to a symmetrical ball. But the opposite is true too. So like bowling on the fresh, like we're doing now, this ball is just a little too long, a little too smooth. And because of the shape, like watching how that ball goes through the pins, like if you're watching it, good shot, ball split the 8-9, but it's rolling end over end, it's rolling forward. So that tells me that like moving in with this ball, trying to get around it to create more shape probably is not the best for league, if I was gonna bowl league. And that's just part of it, right? Like that's part of bowling. Like not only you have to watch what your ball's doing when it's on the lane, but you also want to watch how your ball's going through the pins, because that would give you some indicators in terms of like what's coming next or stay ahead of move. So yeah, we're gonna try that. I'm gonna move right and get around it a little bit more, see what happens. Got around it. And we got 6. Didn't move far enough right, but it did keep going, which is a good sign. So we'll go over 3 and do that again. See the late kick on the 7 there? That would tell me that this is not the right move. Like, it's okay, but if I'm bowling in league or a tournament and I'm seeing that motion consistently, it's time to change, because that's not going to be pretty long term. Let me cut the lights off real quick. You can kind of just see where I'm at there. And I'll throw some more. Should be good. Yep. For those that are wondering, my rev rate is just shy of 400, and the ball speed's a little higher than 18 miles an hour. On that one, said 398 at 18.2. And that was a good shot. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back to the left significantly and just kind of back out of it a little bit and see how that performs. Much straighter, and it's fine. Like, the trajectory there is fine. So I do like that opportunity with a ball like that, because it does tell you that you can play different parts of the lane and still get the ball to strike. And if you can see the lane pattern, the break point is about the same, but the angle of attack is different. I'll try one more variation here just to see. Yeah, so that was another variation. And hit the pocket, no strike, flat 7 pin. So it just gives you a rough idea of some things that you can think about, like when you're looking to get a new bowling ball, in terms of what you want it to do. If I was gonna say add this ball to my arsenal, what I would do is I would change that surface, right? Like, I don't think the current surface is going to work out very well for the type of environment that I bowl in league, like this one per se. It's too clean in the oil and then not aggressive enough for the back end. So what I'll do, I'll just kind of demonstrate that. I'll grab a 3000 grit True Cut pad, and I'm just gonna knock the surface off of this ball, which then should allow me to be able to play more in the oil in general and just get more of a better, more consistent reaction for, like I said, like a regular house shot. This is also why, it's important to know, like, it's important to kind of understand what to do with your bowling balls, especially if you bowl competitively at all, because surface is really the only thing you can do to alter your reaction. So the ball's going to be a little earlier now. I'm hoping it's still continuous, but it should give me more room for error. I see I can make that work. So I almost 6'8", right? Almost 6'8" there, but the ball definitely went through the pins the right kind of way. That's a little bit of a move. I should have more room for error left and right, and I'm off to the races. Yeah, we're gonna have room for error now. Bingo. Yeah, so like that's the difference. Like, that's really the difference. And now, if I miss a little bit with my hand, or even with just the just the angle, I've got room for error because the ball's reading the lane the right kind of way. And that's really what you're looking for. So sometimes it's just a small change like that, right? Like all I did was hit the surface of this brand new ball with a 3000 grit true cut pad. And that's made obviously a significant difference in how it goes through the pins and my room for error. That's all it takes. And you say, why'd you choose 3000? Well, 2000 I thought would have been too early, even though that's the middle grit range for us. And I thought, you know, P5000D or even a 4000 pad would not be quite enough. And that's just from experience. That's just from experience and knowing my own game. That's got a hook. Yeah. So that was in and I threw it hard, that's all. Matter of fact, looking at the speed there, it was about 0.4 of a mile an hour faster. So that's why it didn't come back. All right, let's throw one more shot here. There we go, with the messenger. Well, now you have a little more information about the DV8 Verge Hybrid. You can go to ctdbowling.com and pick one of these bowling balls up. If you're interested, you can join our staff and actually receive a discount from bowling balls when you buy a bowling ball for us. So just another little side benefit of being part of Team CTD. Also, we do a lot of cool things with giving out just free education. Stuff like we're talking about here is a daily occurrence in our staff group. So if you're looking for becoming a better bowler, or just want more information about bowling in general, you should probably join our staff. With that being said, I'm out of here. CEO Ronald Hickler from Creating the Difference. Talk to you soon.